I know. You all are tired of my videos saying OpenAI is dead, right? You're just exhausted of hearing about how dead OpenAI is day after day after day after day. Won't I talk about something new? Well, the thing is, I will talk about something new just as soon as OpenAI actually dies. I know it's dead. You know it's damn dead. Sam Altman knows it's dead. Everybody knows that OpenAI is dead. Apparently, other than OpenAI just, oh lordy, just keeps trucking along somehow. Is it ever going to run in the fields again? No. Is it ever going to have a happy day again? No. But it is true. It isn't quite dead yet. It just keeps limping along. So anyways, OpenAI just has a tremendous number of problems. I find the OpenAI story to be fascinating simply because I talk to you folks so many times about the fallacy of the first mover advantage, right? There's this idea in the technology world, God knows why in the 2020s. This should have had a bullet put in its head years ago. But anyways, there's still this idea, even in the 2020s, of first mover advantage, the concept of a technology company coming in, hyperscaling, basically taking over an entire market before anybody else knows that the market even exists, and then they will have monopoly control over that market, right? That is the idea. That almost, to be clear, almost always fails. So anyways, you have OpenAI, right? OpenAI comes out with ChatGPT. They become the market leader. They have the first mover advantage. Everybody thinks that they're going to be the gazillion-dollar company that nobody else is going to beat. And within a short amount of time, they have become the also-ran. SpaceX has already IPO'd and now is worth, I don't know, somewhere between $1.5 to $2 trillion. Anthropic is going to IPO. God help us for $2 trillion. And OpenAI, something might happen with OpenAI. And one of the interesting things is when you look at OpenAI kind of muddle through, is that they're losing employees. And it's really important to understand this is ugly to be losing employees right now, because even if the employees hate the company, even if the employees realize how evil Sam Altman actually is, they should be looking at a generational life-changing payday, right? We're talking about OpenAI here. We're not just simply talking about a startup company that is going to IPO. We're talking about OpenAI, supposedly, we have been informed, is going to be one of the largest IPOs in world history. Do you remember before SpaceX IPO, the largest IPO in US history was like $170 billion. That was Alibaba a number of years ago. Then SpaceX comes out, $1.77 trillion IPO. Now Anthropic is supposedly going to come out at a $2 trillion IPO. So if OpenAI IPOs at $1 trillion, it will be less than those other two, but it's still going to be the third most valuable IPO in US history. Like if it IPOs for $1 trillion, right? So you think anybody who owns equity in that company, or anybody who has equity that has not yet vested, you would think they would hang on for dear life just to get that payout. Again, if you're thinking about C-level executives, if you're thinking about, I think this is a vice president of sales leaving the company, these people will get a large amount of equity, and this should be a generational, life-changing event when OpenAI IPOs for $1 trillion. If if they actually believe OpenAI is going to IPO for $1 trillion. If they don't think it's going to IPO for $1 trillion, this might be the perfect time to get the fuck off the boat before a whole bunch of AI employees get dumped onto the open market and the value of those employees basically goes through the floor. And so basically what we're looking at right now is we've got, coming from The Information, exclusive, key OpenAI sales executive Kalen Voss returns to Salesforce. Voss's resignation resignation comes a week after her former boss, Denise Dresser, left the company. So again, Denise Dresser had been, I guess, with Salesforce. It was like Slack, Salesforce, had been there for a decade. So that's the other important thing to be looking at too with these employees. Because one thing you do have to be like when you see employees leaving in the technology world, some employees' careers are where they just simply bounce around a lot. Like that is what their career looks like. Spend a year here, spend 2 years here, spend 6 months here, right? That's kind of what they do. They get brought in to do a very specialized thing. They do that thing and then they bounce the hell out. That's just what their careers are, right? So if you have those types of employees leaving a company, even a company like even like OpenAI, again, there's still a bit of a question mark there. But look, maybe they just have ADHD. Maybe their ADHD outvotes a generational wealth payout, right? Maybe that's how it works. But one of the things you have to think about, like with Dresser, is she had been with Salesforce or Slack or whatever for like a decade, 10 years. Comes over to OpenAI for 8 months, and then bounces the fuck back. Does that sound right to you? And so this is Kaylin Voss was one of her subordinates over there, and it appears that she is doing the same thing. Kaylin Voss, OpenAI's vice president of sales in the Americas, has resigned a week after her former boss, Denise Dresser, left the company, according to a person familiar with the matter. Voss had been at OpenAI for just 5 months. Dresser, who is chief revenue officer, had left after 9 months at OpenAI. So again, think about this. Right? You look at OpenAI. OpenAI is a company, supposedly, right? You fight teeth and nails to get in, right? If you can get into OpenAI, what we have all been informed is that is the job of a lifetime. And she got that job for 5 months, 5 months, and is walking the hell out the door. And again, you're and when we say it, again, you got to understand when you say this is not an engineer. Again, like tech people are weird. Tech people, we be some weird people. Like we walk away, whatever. This is a vice president of sales in the Americas. You would think they would just lock into that position and go, right? If nothing else, for the IPO payout. Left after 5 months. Like Dresser, Voss had come from Salesforce. Voss was the chief revenue officer of Slack and one of the executives in charge of Salesforce's primary AI product, Agentforce. She will be returning to Salesforce, CEO Mark Beinoff said in a post on X. So she was a chief revenue officer of Slack. So Dresser, when she came over to OpenAI, she was a chief revenue officer for OpenAI. She bounced after 8 or 9 months. Voss, she had been the chief revenue officer over at Slack, and she is bouncing after 5. So basically you have people that have the experience of being chief revenue officers of technology companies running the fuck away from OpenAI. And think about this, right? When we talk about that OpenAI story, so Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, is trying to pull the IPO forward. He wants that IPO as soon as possible. The CFO, the chief financial officer, she is trying to push the IPO well into 2027 because apparently the paperwork and the books don't look good, right? Her concern is if their books are made public now, basically everything is going to collapse in on itself. So the concept is push the IPO out till 2027, make all the numbers look good. Again, we start talking about investors, make it the optics of the numbers look good so it looks like an investable company. Think about this. 2 people with the experience of being chief revenue officers of technology companies just ran the fuck away from OpenAI. 2 people whose job tasks are to bring money in to technology companies looked at OpenAI and said, bugger that, we're going back to our last job. You can't. No, it's like, we talk about spit polishing turds. Like sometimes, again, in the technology world, the business world, sometimes you got to spit polish a turd. Papa Eli, the computer guy, is here to tell you, you can't spit polish diarrhea. Sometimes when it comes out of the ass, it is just so liquidy and so nasty. Yeah, you're just like, oh fuck this. I'm just walking the hell away. Voss was one of multiple former Salesforce executives recruited by Dresser to build OpenAI's enterprise sales team as the AI firm tried to diversify from a consumer-focused chatbot. Dresser tripled the size of OpenAI's sales team with enterprise sales accelerating following OpenAI's release of its latest model, GPT 5.6. The departures of Dresser and Voss have prompted other people in the sales team to consider resigning. So not only is those two people left, now their subordinates are looking at the bosses jumping ship and starting to think, maybe it's time to go back to a company that's just gonna give me a nice salary. So yeah, no, OpenAI is fucked. Look, I don't need the spreadsheet. I don't need the spreadsheets. I don't need to look at their QuickBooks. You just need to look at the actions. Again, don't listen to what people say. Look at their actions. Listen to their actions. And when you look at the actions of the people in charge of OpenAI, you can see it is an abject fucking disaster. When we are finally able, if we are ever finally able to see their books, I think we're going to see something that makes WeWork look fucking good at the end of the day. Because when you have these people, again, think about it. I mean, that's everybody's dream, right? In the technology world, no matter what product line you support, no matter what you work on, no matter what company or what your career path is, look, one of the dreams of everybody in the technology world is to be with a company that IPOs. Again, a startup technology company that IPOs and a blockbuster technology company that IPOs. That is just the fucking gold medal, right? Even if you don't need the money, which is a lot of money, even if you don't need the money or whatever else, that is just something to put on your love me wall and say yes, right? I was there when Uber IPO'd. I was there when Google IPO'd. I was there when SpaceX IPO'd, right? I was there when OpenAI IPO'd, right? Like these people are fucking running away from OpenAI when it's supposed to be lining up its IPO. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't. There's something wrong here. There is something tragically wrong going on with OpenAI. So yeah. So what do you think about this? What do you think about OpenAI hemorrhaging executive staff? People that, again, they worked stable jobs, they were with companies for long periods of time. You would expect them to come to OpenAI, and if nothing else, at least last long enough at OpenAI to collect that payday. They're not even lasting that long. Because again, I've had friends who have got acqui-hired or whatever else, and that's one of the things. Like when you get acqui-hired, right? You get an initial payday, and then there's an additional payout that normally vests over a number of years, so anywhere between 1 to 3 years. And I've had many friends, right? They get that initial payment, they get that initial payout, which is a lot of money, but all they have to do, again, it's kind of like out of Silicon Valley. What is it, like with Big Head or whatever? Remember when Big Head just kind of went into the office and like literally didn't do anything just so his like shares could vest or whatever? That's what it is for like a lot of people. And literally, I have seen people that I know that just can't tolerate it. They're like, Eli, look, I got enough money out of the initial payout. I tried to last as long as possible, but man, I couldn't do it. Right? So I've even seen that. But think about it. These executives aren't even that. They're not even getting the IPO to get whatever amount of money they can get, and then they can't tolerate it past that point. They're literally fleeing the company. They're fleeing the company before what should be one of the largest IPOs in US history. That is not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Anyways, put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.